What is up, peeps? Hope your day is going well. Today we talk about a topic that I just find very interesting for the esports scene and the future of gaming in general. It's OpTic HecZ, and on his Eavesdrop podcast, please go check it out with Dead Zone. That's former Penguins or Halo Pro who switched his name to Dead Zone in a great episode where they talk at length. There are some lengthy clips, so go check out the full episode as they talk about why OpTic players must stream. They must make content, something HecZ has talked about for years. And what he says is you might cause yourself some suffering, a little bit of a battle in the short term because other teams will see you, they'll see your scrims, and they'll see what you're doing, but you set yourself up potentially for the long term when all of this esports stuff, well, you're no longer doing it.
And I think us streaming is also it's like a good thing. I think everyone should be doing it, but the fact that only we are doing it, it's different. It makes it harder on us.
Yeah.
Just because we have all the lights on us, basically.
Yeah.
And we're also a brand new team. So there's stuff that we maybe aren't saying on stream right now that when it gets closer to the tournament, we'll really lock in and not stream so much.
It was around 2013, 2014 when I started to scream it at the top of my lungs for every player who plays any fucking game at a competitive level to fucking stream. And yes,
we need to. Yeah.
And yes, obviously, there is a disadvantage to that, and that's why some of the players don't stream S&D and all that. And then what ends up happening, and undoubtedly it'll continue to happen going forward forever and ever, is that by the time that your career the end of your career comes, and it comes like that, you are then going to be left with the decision of, do I go back into the civilian world and get a job, a desk job somewhere, a construction job, or I can continue doing what I had been doing, at least in a part-time basis, right? And you see that now, the amount of Call of Duty professionals that retire, the amount of Halo people that retire, the amount of CSGO. I mean, you name it across. I'm not an I told you so guy unless I'm doing it in a teasing manner.
Oh, you're 100% right.
But it is something that you may be sacrificing short term or making it more difficult for you, but in the end, your bank account will thank you, and therefore your family will thank you, and therefore your way of life will thank you. And
I love these conversations. I love digesting clips like this from great esports podcasts because it's just so fun to talk about the future of these games as they go on to reference a game like Gears of War, which literally Gears of War esports is dead. I missed that over the past couple of years. It's probably way further back than I even remember, but Gears is dead. And we will see that with many other games out there. But a game like Halo, more than ever, needs these players and these streamers and these pros actually making content, something I certainly agree with. Although on the flip side, the game itself has fallen through the floor, and there's not a lot of viewership around Halo, I will say personally, but they do this not just for OpTic and to set themselves up, but because it's better for the game and the ecosystem of esports if these players are actually making content. I certainly agree with that. There's the devil's advocate counter argument of people saying, okay, if I'm a pro player, I should be able to dedicate myself to being a pro player and competing and not have to make content, but people will always disagree on that. Where do you guys land?
I cannot tell you how, I don't give a fuck, right? But it does disappoint me a little bit when I see people that I fuck with not doing that.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's something I brought up to my old team even because they never, ever stream, right? I said we need to be doing this for the community even. Just the community aspect of trying to keep your scene alive. And right now in Halo, a lot of people, they don't stream at all unless they freaking win the online cup, and then they'll get on. It's I already planned to stream a boatload even before joining OpTic, and then this opportunity comes my way, and I can't lie, I have to capitalize on the hype. Yeah, because you guys have built something incredible, and people come in and they stop by no matter what if you're part of the team.
Yeah, and the thing about that is no one here would ever be like, oh, this guy's trying to capitalize on what you should be
capitalize on every opportunity you can.
Absolutely, you're getting paid to do something, but then you have the opportunity to also get paid a second time by doing the thing that you're getting paid the first time to begin with.
Yeah.
And that leads to sponsorships that you can get from brands, and that's more money on top of your money. Now you're tripling your opportunity, and people are still wondering, especially the ones that when you are going to be placing top 5. You know when you're going to be placing top 8. You know when you're going to be placing top 16. You know within yourself. Yes, you're going in there with the best, effort and best mindset to have the best outcome. But you have an idea, and those are the people that confuse me the most, because why rely on a single weekend to pay your bills? You know what I'm saying?
It should be long term. And well,
that's the fourth time that you get paid for, right?
4 times over.
Salary, your streaming opportunity, your sponsorships that come from streaming, and your championships or your prize money if you win. That's 4 times that you have the opportunity. Like, and I'm not even gonna deviate or separate Twitch and YouTube, right? Because those are 2 separate. That's like a 5-way parlay.
You can find 30 ways to You can find 30 ways to make it all coincide.
So for me, it's always been like one of these things where I just like I'm not disappointed because I don't give a fuck. If you don't play for me, like I have certain duties as part of this community to advise people who don't even play for me on things that we do. But
I agree.
The ones that I hammer down on are my guys, which is why my guys do what they do.
Well, and that's why I also said this to like the team. I said, well, especially Tommy and Matt, because they're streaming the tournaments themselves.
Yeah.
Me and Joey, not so much. I said, you guys are saving Halo. Like, somebody's got to do it, right? And nobody else is streaming these tournaments unless they're like a top 8, top 12 AM.
Dude, look at the Gears of War community, right? Gears of War was popping back in 2016, 2017 when we had our team, and some of them streamed, but the majority of them didn't.
And that's how Halo is right now.
And then what happened?
We need to change.
Right? What happened? The viewership stopped being interested. Like nobody was following storylines. Nobody was following because nobody was advertising that.
Dude, people are playing Money 8s.
And so I just found it very interesting, especially when you look at OpTic inside the Call of Duty space. I think they are the ideal example of Call of Duty content. And of course, they have some prominent names in Call of Duty, and Call of Duty gives them back a lot as well when it comes to viewership, but they've earned that over the course of the last decade, building up content inside Call of Duty. And this leads to a further discussion, which I'm saving for a separate video, but it was great to hear. And I do agree with them, because oftentimes when these players are no longer playing, they do become streamers or content creators. OpTic HecZ saying, we're going to give you the chance to make it more of a long-term career if you choose to do so. But if you want to be a part of OpTic, you're going to have to do some things, make some sacrifices, whether it's streaming scrims here or there, or whether it's actually making content outside of competing. I kind of tend to agree with the model. Not everyone does, but what do you guys think? Till next time, take care of yourselves. We'll see you back here soon.
And everybody starts somewhere.
You got to start somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't affect your player value, right? Like you're there for. I'm hiring you for your skill. What you do after that is up to you. Do we get a benefit of doing podcasts like this? Sure, but I'm doing this podcast so that the people who watch this podcast get to know our newest player on the Halo team.
Yeah.
And we've had this situation in the past where players would in OpTic, right? Recently, they would be like, oh, it's like, why am I showing up to content so much time? And I'm like, you don't. Matt, take them off the sheet. Don't put in the next 2 weeks. They're not on camera. I'm not gonna go out of my way to fucking. This isn't creating content is a privilege. Entertaining people is a fucking privilege.